Dogs from Russian classics, from ancient Egyptian rock paintings, and even from the Hawaiian Islands. Today you will learn more about extinct breeds. Once they were so common that no one thought they could disappear. Nevertheless, it still happened. And at the end of the video, I will show you a breed that never actually existed, although it was regularly written about in local newspapers and books. Interesting? Enjoy watching. Medelyan. 18th and 19th century. The peak of culture, the emergence of the first photographs. And only thanks to these images, as well as mentions in literature, we know about the existence of such a breed as Medelyan. Large, with a huge head, powerful jaws, and a strong, fast body. This is how these dogs can be described. Moreover, they are very intelligent and attached to their owner, so it's no wonder that Medelyans were predominantly used for hunting. But where did they come from in the first place, and why did they disappear? Let's figure it out. The origin of this breed of dogs was not known with certainty even in past centuries. Therefore, today we are left only with hypotheses put forward at that time. Thus, some sinologists believe that the Medelyan was imported to Russia from Egypt, while others link the origin of the breed to Britain and its conquest by the Roman Empire. According to this version, the name Medelyan came from the name of the city Milan, or in ancient times, Mediolanum. And you know, it sounds plausible. But the most interesting version was proposed by the scientist Viktor Priklonsky. He rejected the version with Rome because there were no records or photographs of dogs of this breed preserved there. That is, there were absolutely no traces of its existence. And then, he called the Medelyan an inherently Russian breed originating from ancient baiting practices. What practices? Kind of dog fights. They used to happen regularly. People would gather in the square and bait dogs against each other. The dog that stood out for its qualities would consistently win, almost without receiving any damage. These invincible pets were called Medelyans. It sounds similar to the name of the breed. This version becomes more plausible when you start to study why the breed disappeared, because the main blow to it was the prohibition in the second half of the 19th century of that same baiting. Then the Medelyans became predominantly chained, domesticated dogs, and due to the lack of natural selection, they began to degenerate. Then illiterate selection, the Second World War, the Revolution, that's how the Medelyans finally disappeared. However, it is not surprising that many other breeds of dogs became extinct for similar reasons. Taltan Bear Dog. In the Taltan Indian tribe, who lived in the territory of Canada hundreds of years ago, an unusual breed of dog was bred. It looked like this, an appearance combining the features of a terrier and fox, compact size, powerful physique, and energetic gait, a live attentive gaze, and straight sharp ears. The combination of elegance and strength made dogs of this breed ideal companion for bear hunting. That's how the Taltan Bear Dogs got their name. Representatives of this breed were enduring, adapted to the cold, and excellent swimmers. Their diet consisted of small pieces of birds, meat, and fish. An important element of the culture of the Taltan tribe were rituals conducted before hunting to arouse the hunting instinct in dogs. Here's a description of some of the rituals. The pet was struck on the hind legs with a wolf bone, or placed in a canvas bag and thrown over the shoulder. Strange, isn't it? How did it help the dogs to hunt? Some nonsense. With the arrival of white researchers, with the appearance on the continent of dogs of other breeds, Taltan Bear Dogs gradually began to die out. In addition, some representatives were taken off the continent to Europe, where they perished from the plague, exhausting heat, and health problems associated with a change in diet. The last representative of the breed died in 1951. Hawaiian Poi Dog. The dogs I'm going to tell you about now also first appeared in tribes, just not Native American ones, but Hawaiian Aborigines. And these primitive people used poor pups not for hunting at all. Well, let's take it step by step. Hawaii, a paradise. Magical beaches with white sand, turquoise waves of the Pacific Ocean, bright sun, clean air. It would seem, what else do you need for happiness? Hawaiian Aborigines quickly found the answer to this question. Happiness lacks food. There are plenty of fruits and fish on the island, but mammals are completely absent. There were just bats. At least, that was the cause until the Polynesians brought pigs, rats, and dogs to the island. Over time, as a result of accidental selection on the island, a completely new, previously unknown breed emerged, the Hawaiian Poi Dog. Poi in Hawaiian translates as main dish. Yes, the Hawaiians used these poor pups as food. What did the breed look like? No surviving works of art or photographs are attributed specifically to the Poi Dog breed. Although, of course, there is, for example, such an image. And judging by it, this dog seems to have had ears, a tail, and several legs. It's like not even 4. And a very big round body. Various Western artists visited the island at different times, in the 18th and 19th centuries. But they usually depicted dogs of the Poi Dog breed not quite authentically. Often it was more of a composite image than a true-to-life painting. French sinologists Catherine Luomala and Margaret Titcomb agreed that only one of the sketches dated to the beginning of the 19th century most accurately shows a dog of this breed. Thus, this is the only surviving image. Hawaiian Poi Dogs became extinct when the Aborigines stopped consuming dog meat, as they were not suitable for any other purpose on the island. Chien-gris. By the way, about the French. In France, there were also some breeds of dogs that are now considered extinct. For example, the Chien-gris or the Gray St. Louis Hound. Here's what is known about its appearance. Gray fur with reddish or white spots, medium size, tall and slender legs, graceful physique, and also a gentle, friendly character and loyalty to the owner. Chien-gris were hunting dogs that lived in the royal court of France from 1250 to 1470. It's quite amazing that some data about its appearance has been preserved. After all, it was so long ago. Even the origin of the breed is authentically known. According to Charles IX, St. Louis brought these dogs to France from Tartary. He received them as a gift during his crusades. Chien-gris were also used for hunting bears and wild boars in the dense forests of France, because these dogs stood out not only for their graceful appearance, but also for their unique hunting skills, which allowed them to successfully cope with large game. Unfortunately, over time and with changing priorities in hunting, as well as due to crossbreeding and multiple revolutions, Chien-gris gradually disappeared. Southern Hound. Let's look at another European country, Great Britain, 17th century. According to records, mysteriously during this period, a new breed of dogs appeared in the country, the Southern Hound, the origin of which is ambiguous. Most researchers believe that the Southern Hound originated from the Talbot hunting breed, which was very common in England in the Middle Ages. Others are convinced that it is an independent indigenous breed, which in principle is also possible. I think it's difficult to get to the truth here. Most likely, only how these dogs looked and what they were used for is known. They were large, slow pets with excellent sense of smell. They were taken on hunts for hares and deer because of their ability to persistently pursue prey. And that slowness played a cruel joke with this breed. In the 18th century, dogs were replaced by faster foxhounds, and Southern Hounds were crossed with greyhounds to increase speed, but this did not yield positive results, only destroying the breed. Indian Hare Dog. Another breed chased hares, but on a different continent, in another country, in India. At least, that's what I thought when I heard the name of this breed, Indian Hare Dog. It turned out everything is not quite like that, or slightly not like that. The breed did indeed chase hares, it's just that the Indians had nothing to do with it, because in everything the Indians are involved. It was in the northern part of Canada as a result of ancient natural selection and domestication of coyotes that the Indian Hare Dog appeared. Indians selected males and females with the necessary characteristics, such as friendliness, speed, endurance, and excellent sense of smell to create dogs that were ideal for hunting small game. And that's how these small, with long ears and tail, covered with fluffy gray-black spotted fur pets came about, indispensable companions on the hunt. Later, they became extinct as a result of crossbreeding with other dogs in the 19th century, as well as due to changes in the hunting methods of the indigenous people. Although, of course, some researchers believe that this breed still exists in a somewhat different form. Toy Trawler Spaniel. This is the King Charles Spaniel, and in this photograph, its distant relative, and they look very similar to each other. Nevertheless, these are two completely different breeds, one of which, unfortunately, has completely disappeared. The Toy Trawler Spaniel emerged presumably in the 16th century from the original King Charles Spaniel and the Sussex Spaniel. It is believed that the breed began to form against the backdrop of the popularity of miniature dogs, which became the object of increased interest in Europe at that time. And the new breed, in fact, differed in tiny size, a small head, long ears, curly fur, and proportional build. It was presented in various colors, but black or red with white markings were most common. According to descriptions, representatives of this breed had a very cute character, but at the same time were brave and courageous. By 1920, the Toy Trawler Spaniel was on the brink of extinction. The last individual, Robin, was born in 1911. It is her stuffed specimen that is currently kept in the Natural History Museum in Train. English Water Spaniel. Did you know that those very King Charles Spaniels were also once considered extinct? The breed emerged in the 16th century. The first Charles Spaniels belonged to English lords, and then, with the fall of the monarchy, they disappeared. Only centuries later did American breeder Roswell Eldridge decide to revive the breed based on old paintings. With Spaniels, everything seems to be quite complicated. There is another breed that is considered extinct, the English Water Spaniel. By the way, this is a very interesting and unusual representative, because it was distinguished by its unique swimming skills and wool properties. Let's take a closer look. This breed was first mentioned in the works of Dr. John Caius in 1570. This date is considered the beginning of the history of English Water Spaniels. In books, these dogs are described as a mix of Collie, Poodle, and Springer Spaniel, with long curly fur, often white or ash-colored. It is said that it was also waterproof, allowing the Water Spaniel to feel great in the water. It dived skillfully and swam quickly, so over time, it found its application in dog hunting. After 4 centuries of breeding, the breed disappeared at the end of 20th century. Perhaps this is due to changes in fashion. By the way, there are no photographs with this dog preserved, only a few paintings and memories of contemporaries. Tesem. And this perhaps is the oldest breed in my collection. Tesem, a dog from ancient Egypt. It is assumed that the new type was bred by the peoples of Nubia and Punt. Eared, resembling gray hounds, were the result of ancient cultural exchange, including with more advanced civilizations such as Mesopotamia. Ancient Egyptians described Tesem as long with curly tails, grayish-yellow fur, long legs, and straight pointed ears. Images of this breed have been preserved on the tombs of pharaohs, and remains have been found inside the pyramids. Probably, beloved pets were buried together with the deceased as companions to the afterlife. In ancient Egyptian society, there were many rituals and customs associated with dogs. They were not only used for hunting, but also served as protectors and guardians of the household. Images of dogs, including Tesem, could be placed in amulets and talismans for protection against evil spirits and diseases. But the breed disappeared. This is most likely associated with changing preferences in dog breeding in ancient Egypt. New types with hanging ears and straight tails such as Salukis began to be more valued here. Russian Yellow Retriever. Are you ready to learn about the breed that was regularly mentioned in local newspapers and books, but never actually existed? The Russian Yellow Retriever. Does it look familiar to anyone? This image is from St. Hubert's Kennel, opened by Colonel Trench in the 1880s. He actively bred this line, doing so quite covertly, without introducing the blood of any other dogs. And then, in the early 20th century, he came up with the idea that this very yellow retriever had ancient Russian roots. He even went to the Caucasus in search of evidence, wanting to find suitable ancestor dogs there. But he returned empty-handed. And you know what excuse he came up with? "I couldn't find anyone. All the dogs were in the mountains." Nevertheless, many believed him. In 1915, there was even a separate mention of the Russian Yellow Retriever breed in the book Dogs of All Nations. Its photo and a brief description of its external data are placed here, but the breed was never officially registered. Later, after the death of the colonel and all his dogs, researchers said, "The similarities between this extinct breed and golden retrievers are striking." What do you think about this? Even now, some breeds of dogs are on the brink of extinction. Dolls, Irish wolfhounds, German pinschers, smooth collies. And if you happen to be a fan of these breeds, be sure to get yourself such a puppy before it's too late. And if suddenly it costs too much and you don't have the money, I know how to find a way out. You can become part of our team! If you have skills in video editing, can voice videos in Russian, English and other languages, or write interesting scripts, we will be happy to work with you. Write to our Telegram bot. The link is in the description. Thanks for watching.